What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Shot of Sports Podcast. Grab a drink, a snack. This is your weekly dose of sports, where we'll break down and do a deep dive in the world of sports. Whether you're a casual fan or a diehard, we're here to bring you the latest, the best analysis and hottest takes. Subscribe and share. Even leave a comment. We appreciate all the feedback and smash the like button for us and tap the notification bell on the right, so you'll be notified whenever we drop, so you won't miss one. Today we got on the show Azir Spencer and Chris Pittner. So how's y'all? How's the weekend?
Good man, got a lot of good sports going on, and got some money, making some money on Memorial Day, and it was cool. We liked it. It was fun. Got a
Oh,
lot of
you had to
food.
work today yesterday.
Yeah, I had to work yesterday. I was like the only reporter, like in not in town, but just on call in the morning. So I just went in and talked about Memorial Day, and it was cool. I worked one of the shows that I usually work with on the weekends, so it was cool. Got the U.S. Open coming up this weekend. It's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
that's something we can definitely dabble into as well over the next week and figuring out more topics that we'll be doing for next week as well. So
Yep.
Hoops were good this weekend. Basketball was a lot of fun to watch.
oh,
Indy,
definitely.
I know we'll jump into that in a sec, but yeah, it was overall a good weekend. Big win for the Thunder, big win for the Knicks to stay alive.
Oh yeah, for sure. So let's actually jump into our first topic. That's actually our first topic. So these playoffs are getting very tight. Well, on the eastern side, rather, the Pacers blow a 20-point lead to fall to the Knicks 106-100 at the crib, while the Thunder go 3-1 on the Wolves after a 128-126 victory in Minnesota last night. What's interesting to me is the East, no one can close out a lead, while in the West, it's been blowout city. Not last night though. Let's get into the takes.
Hey, so you want to know what I realized? So for both games, I realized this when I was watching the games. I realized a different in their game plan. So in game three, Pacers next. I'll start with that one. They the first half they were rolling with Brunson, like running the ball right through him, no matter what. Every single possession, Brunson. Then he got into foul trouble, and then once he got into foul trouble, they started. Okay, we got to use our role players a lot more. We got to involve Cap more and get the ball to the perimeter and shoot some threes and get back into this game. That's exactly what they did. They had a clutch three before the end of the half, and then second half when Brunson was still in foul trouble, obviously they still ran that exact same thing, and then it got back to that point where they're running these screens and making sure people are open, swinging the ball left and right on the wing, and then people are wide open in the lane. Sometimes, like it was a perfect sequence of adjustments that I realized from the Knicks in the second half. And when it comes to the Wolves and the Thunder, I realized this too. This is the biggest thing I realized. So you know how you see people guard Shea Gillis Alexander, they're usually up top on him and like kind of closer for example, let's say he's on the um left side of the court, like near the half court line. So I realized Jaden McDaniels, he'll come up to him and it would allow Shea to blow by him when it because the screen like Hardenstein or Chet would come and give him a screen up top, and then he'll just drive easy, and
Mhm.
then he has an option to swing it left or swing it right or go up and get a foul. Okay, this is what they did when they won the game. Jaden McDaniels started pressing off of him. He was like he was playing off ball because when Shea's like off ball, he's not as explosive and as useful because if he doesn't have the ball in his hand, he doesn't move around like Steph Curry or anything. So you kind of just leave him alone. But obviously, if he's get the ball back, you run towards him and you close out. He can't make a shot, and I realized that. But they did the same thing last night, and it just didn't work very well. I mean they only lost by two, but still, it was just you could tell the difference in the Thunder's game plan, which is running through Shea, but Jalen Williams is running the ball up half the time as well. So they didn't have an answer for both of them at the same time.
Well, how about Randall and Anthony Edwards just not showing up at all in that game? I mean, Anthony Edwards did what he can down the stretch, like any
Right.
big player would. But how about for Randall not to even, be even a factor in that? game, and Nikhil Alexander Walker to have 23 points off the bench, and DiVincenzo 21 points off the bench, and Reed 11 off the bench. That is a lot of bench scoring.
They win that game if he plays good.
You're right. They win that game if Randall at least shows a pulse, a heartbeat, at least 1 for 7 at the crib, and basically a must win.
And Shea's 43% of Shea's free throws came in the last like eight minutes of the game or something like that. So they started playing sloppy on him. They're playing him very well all game. I mean, he still had like 30 still, so it didn't really matter. But I mean, it was rough.
Heck, even Terrence Shannon gave something, and he's a rookie. So I wanted to jump. The biggest thing about the East, I want to say, nobody can hold a lead. Okay, nobody can.
No game.
This is the Knicks' third 20-point comeback since I believe the 1980s or something like that. Since the last team did it. But really, what stood out to me most was the game changed when Nesmith's ankle injury got hurt. You could see a shift in how the Knicks played when Nesmith got hurt. It seemed like
I would
they started
actually
to attack
argue
the basket.
I would argue that the shift occurred right before halftime because Indy went into the half really lackadaisical. The Knicks went on that little mini run right before half to cut it back down to 13. And I know Reggie Miller mentioned on the TNT broadcast that he didn't feel good about how the Pacers ended that half. They got really lackadaisical down the stretch too. It felt like in that last few minutes that they were playing hot potato almost with the ball. Nobody wanted to shoot. Everyone seemed afraid, which is very unlike them. Right. And yeah, they really just struggled to get anything going offensively. The free-flowing basketball that we saw in the first half, in the first 2 series, and even in the first 2 games, it kind of disappeared on them a little bit. It felt like everyone was afraid to shoot the ball. The moment got too big for them, which is really strange because they did the exact opposite in the Garden in game 1. It felt like they had a real chance to close New York out in this game. And I wonder if this is going to be a momentum shift going forward. I feel like this could have been the turning point for the Knicks in this series. I'm going to watch game 4 tonight, obviously, before I draw any rash conclusions from that. But it was a really tough showing for Indy in that second half. And in a game where it felt like they could have closed them out easily and had plenty of opportunities to do so, they didn't.
Yeah, I can see what you mean by that. About halftime, they cut it to 13, but they went back up 18 in the third quarter.
Only for like 2 minutes, not like less than a minute though. Then the Knicks started storming back.
Right. So it's like the minute Nesmith's ankle got hurt, it's like Cat, McBride. It wasn't even Brunson. Cat, McBride, and it looked like.
That's what I was saying before.
Really started to find a pulse.
That's what I was trying to say before. Like in the first half, Thibodeau was playing like 9 players. He wasn't playing McBride. He wasn't trying to get Mitchell Robinson involved. Really,
but he couldn't play McBride because
he tried everything. He had DeJuan Wright in there.
I mean, he can play McBride in those situations where Brunson is in foul trouble, missing shots too. Like you got to be able to rely on some other people sometime as well. And that's exactly what he did. McBride was playing some great defense, some wing threes sometimes, and passing the ball, swinging the ball to Cat. Cat hitting tough shots at the top of the key and then dunking on people in the clutch. I mean, it was just I thought it was a beautiful game by Thibodeau as a coach to be able to start realizing like this is not just Brunson's team. Like he has great teammates surrounding him, and they can really win this series if they realize that. So. I don't know. I thought that was a great adjustment by him and getting Cat involved, getting at the top of the key. Like Cat looked way more confident than he has all playoffs, in my opinion. So
I still think the Pacers are going to win the series, but tonight's going to tell a lot.
If they win tonight, bro, I don't know.
If Indy wins tonight, it's pretty much wraps.
Well, I'm saying if the Knicks
Indy wins, it's going to end in probably 5. But if you talk about if the Knicks, I still think the Pacers might win. But if the Knicks win tonight, it almost becomes a must-win for the Pacers to go back to the Garden and win.
Which is very hard. Well, they did it.
It means that they're going to have to steal another one on the road, which it felt like, especially in game 1, that they may have gotten away with one with the luck and the bounce with Halliburton and just everything going right in the last 2.5 minutes. But they're going to have to do it again. If they lose tonight, they're gonna have to steal another one at the Garden.
Yep.
If you win tonight, though, you can just take Game 6 at home. But the weirdest thing about this Indy team is they've been better on the road through the postseason than they have been at home.
Absolutely.
With
Which
the
is
exception
actually
of the
insane.
first series against Milwaukee, where they lost one on the road, they shoot better on the road. It almost feels like they feed off of the other team's energy in a way.
They do. They don't like the fans fuel them when they start chanting overrated and stuff like that, which Donovan Mitchell learned the hard way that that's not the truth. And he dropped 40 and they still lost by like 5. So it was rough. But Brunson happened to Brunson in game 1. He dropped 48, I'm pretty sure, or 45, something like that. And they lost. So it really comes to, all I'm gonna say is if it goes back to the Garden and it's 2-2, you can count your days as a Pacers fan and anybody watching. But because I just don't see it happening. I don't see getting home court advantage back. It's 0-0 at that point. His best 2 out of 3 at that point. So I don't know. I got Knicks if they win tonight. I got them winning the series in 6.
Rick Carlisle is the championship head coach, so he'll have them boys going. Is whether or not will the Knicks be ready to go? That's the key. Or
I don't see why they would.
Will Cat step up again?
He did game 1 and game 3. I think game 2 he was still good, but it
wasn't like that impact that he had last game.
Right. Game 1 it was. Game 1 he was at 30.
Yeah, game 1 he was there.
Yeah. Game 2 he had like 20 something, and it was there. It's just not. It was very quiet. But last night,
and you see the pattern how he's there for game 1, out for game 2, but there for game 3. Now it's game 4. You got to put together you have to put together back-to-back good games.
You got to break the curse eventually.
I know you guys mentioned Carlisle having the guys ready to go. That's what was so odd to me about the second half on Sunday was the Pacers seemed almost flustered. They hadn't been kind of out of it at all in this postseason. For some reason, they've dropped every game 3, which is something interesting. They'll win the first 2 games, and then they'll drop game 3, and then they bounce back in game 4 with blowout wins. So that's what happens again tonight. It feels like business as usual, but it felt like they could have really ran away with that game, and it just didn't end up happening. And Carlisle kind of surprised me. He didn't really... There was no real offensive flow in that second half. I don't know if that was on the players, if that was on his game plan, getting a little too lackadaisical. But
it wasn't him. I'm telling you that.
I don't even think it was. I don't think it was. It wasn't Carlisle. It was more of the fact that
the defense on the Knicks really carried that second half. They really they disrupted everything. Like Hallie, I will never forget this call for some reason, but Hallie, I think it was more towards the clutch. He was on the left wing and getting guarded by Miles Bridges or Mikal Bridges and getting completely clamped. They couldn't swing it anywhere else because who else is going to make that last shot right in that moment? And they called the foul, which was really dumb in my opinion. But you could just tell like the defense on Hallie and everyone else from the Knicks, it was that game plan was just right. You have to stay on him. If you let him play off ball like that, run around, they look like 2015 Warriors. So it's rough.
Yeah, so I think it's more of the fact that it's easier to come back in a game than it is to hold a lead. Like my dad was saying, or like I was talking to my dad the other day. He was after the game. He was like, "It's easier to come back from a deficit than it is to hold a big lead, because when you're coming back from a deficit, you ain't got nothing to lose. You playing some real defense and you're scoring quickly. You're trying to score very quickly. Mm-hmm. And if you're holding the lead, you're trying to not blow it, and you're not trying to score as fast, which could also be detrimental to you, because if your offense is supposed to play fast, once you start playing slow, it kind of messes you up. So, and that's what hit the Pacers. They had a big lead. They got comfortable. Felt like, okay, this game's over, when it wasn't. And it was a complete different second half as well, because, you're trying to hold that lead. You're trying to say, I'm not trying to blow it. And you blew it. That's what happened with the Knicks, too.
Look at some numbers.
Knicks had good leads, and they were trying not to blow it.
like you see when I'm looking at the box score, it really tells the entire game plan here. So like Jalen Brunson, he had 23, Cat had 24, OG had 16, Bridges had 15.
It is right there. OG.
And you can just tell like no one's trying to score a crap ton. They're playing team ball when you look at the scores at least. When you look at the points, and when you look at the Pacers, only three people. Miles Turner had 19, which is a big night for him offensively, but he's been a liability on defense, which I think kind of cost him the game yesterday because I'm telling you, the Knicks flipped the Pacers game plan on them. You know how they bring the bigs out on the arch, and they bring Turner or Siakam to the perimeter, and usually it's unguardable because the other team doesn't have perimeter defense. That's exactly what the Knicks did, and Turner is a big liability on the perimeter, and he's like one of their worst defenders from what I've seen at least, and I think number wise as well. But they brought Cat up. They started splashing with Cat, which they should have been doing. I think they did game 1, and game 2 they lost, obviously just because Pacers were better. But the game plan was to bring Cat into it more, and I'm seeing a lot more. And I hope they do it again tonight because it worked to perfection. If they can continue hold a lead and hopefully get that done tonight and bring it back to the Garden, make a great series out of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think because I wouldn't say Miles Turner is a bad defender. I'd say that matchup wise, he doesn't match up well with.
He's definitely one of their weakest. I wouldn't say he's a bad defender. He's just one of the.
I don't know if he's bad necessarily. It's just Cat exposes what he's not good at.
That's what I mean. Like
I don't think he's a good.
Not the greatest.
I don't think he was guarding Cat. I think he was guarding Mitchell Robinson when
he was guarding Cat towards the end of the game. I think because Mitchell Robinson wasn't in yet because they brought him in the clutch to play defense. But when it was the offensive lineup, he was guarding Cat and getting washed.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, and when you look at how they won game 1 and game 2, when they won game 2, it was a lot closer. And what's his name? I think Taylor. I think it is
Taylor. What do you mean?
Tony Bradley was in for India.
Tony Bradley was a better matchup for Mitchell Robinson because he's a bigger body and he can hold firm in the paint. And that changed the series when they won game 2. So I feel that if they start Mitchell Robinson again, you have to start Miles Turner and then you have to start Miles Turner and Torrey. Yeah. So, I mean, Tony Bradley. So it's who would you bench? You would probably have to sit Nembhard until you really start making a factor. Or
Nembhard is he's one of their defensive guys. I feel like
bench him.
Well, I mean, he's not being benched. I'm just saying, like, if they're starting Mitchell Robinson, that means Josh Hart isn't starting.
Yeah, I mean,
Josh Hart still played 34 minutes on Sunday, though. It's not like he wasn't out there.
34 minutes, so it's still like Nembhard is still gonna get his minutes. He's just not gonna start at the opening tip because you want to establish early.
So you're saying a bench presence is needed?
Yes, you need a bench presence, but really it's all about matchups.
They got
Robinson starts. Tony Bradley has to start.
Is Mitchell Robinson starting? Do we know that? Yeah.
He started game 4 or game 3.
I'm not sure if they'll start in game 5.
I don't know if he'll they usually end the game because it's been clutch. So they usually end the game at like with Mitchell Robinson on defense because it's been so close every game. But I mean, if you're rolling with that standard lineup, if Cat at the 4 and Mitchell Robinson at the 5, then yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. You gotta fit that matchup. Because if Hart's playing the 3, that's a big issue for them. If he's playing the 2, because OG would play the 3. No, wait.
Yeah, that's right.
No, because Bridges isn't gonna play. He's starting. So
Bridges is the 3.
Bridges would be OG would be the 6th man, and so it would.
No. It was they run a big lineup. Josh Hart and then Bridges played the 2.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So Brunson, then Hart, then Bridges, then Cat, then Robinson. I thought OG started. I thought he did.
He
He
did.
did.
Start.
Hart
Josh
came
Hart
off the
didn't
bench
start.
on Sunday.
Oh, Hart was on
Josh
the
Hart
bench.
didn't start.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
played 34 minutes, but he came off the bench.
Oh, so it was pretty much normal for him. So
Yeah, so it was. That's what I'm saying. Like with the
yeah, if OG's in the game, you got to put bigger people in, and I don't. That's their weakness in my opinion. I think they like small ball. The only big they have is Turner, and he can't do it all. So
that's what I'm saying. So if they start Mitchell Robinson again, you might have to run that matchup to begin the game, and then have Nimhart come off the bench. You ain't gonna sit Neesmith. He guards Brunson well.
they had a game plan, game 1 and game 2 of like fouling Mitchell Robinson when they're in the bonus.
Yeah,
And although it may work sometimes, I think it's a really dumb game plan because it messes up your entire flow on defense. Because say you can't foul Mitchell Robinson. I mean, you got to play defense then. You got to actually play up to him because if he was able to score a little bit more than he can now, the team would be very dangerous, dude. Because they have the height advantage. So
it's just that Mitchell Robinson doesn't have an offensive bag like that.
if he did, I'm saying though, like
Yeah,
I don't
he
know.
could develop it, man.
He used to have one when he got drafted. I don't know what happened.
He's
he had a
been
little
injured
mid-range.
so much through the last few years. I think that's part of the problem.
I feel like that doesn't affect your mid range though. He was a mid range beast at one point, especially coming out of high school too. So I don't know. Maybe we'll bring it back eventually, but that's not in their game plan to get him the ball and have him score. I think he's the last person they want to try to score all the time. So I mean, he only had 6 points the other day, and I don't know. He had 6 rebounds, which is concerning. So he's usually the big rebound guy, and Josh Hart and Cat were that. So.
All right, so with that, we're going to jump into our next topic, which is the NHL. Well, that changed very quickly. The Dallas Stars find themselves behind in the series now, while the Panthers are just dominating Carolina. But they fell last night 3-0 to postpone their Eastern Conference Championship. The main question is, should we be worried about Dallas, and will the Oilers go back, and will we have a repeat finals matchup? That's the key.
Not worried, bro. When people are down 2-1, they tend to play more urgently, and I think the Stars are going to start playing urgently and getting back to where they were before. That last game though was gut wrenching. I don't know. It was tough to watch. I hope they are able to get past that, but I really don't want to see another Oilers win. And I know Drew Best, if he's watching, he's ecstatic right now, wanting this to take it home and take it back to him and then beat him again. So 6-1 is just like, dude, what are we doing?
Felt like almost a snowball effect in that game. As Luke Combs says in one of his songs, when it rains, it pours. That's kind of what happened, I think, in that game. Edmonton just really took control of the game. I think for Dallas, you just shake that kind of game off. That's one of those. I know in the playoffs, you can't really do that nearly as easily as you can in the regular season, but you just got to forget about it, rinse it out, and get ready for game 4 and try and take one on the road. And they've really struggled their last few games, but if they can do what they did in game 1, they were comeback kings the entire postseason to this point. If they can steal one on the road, I think I'd feel good, even after that huge loss in game 3, if I'm a Stars fan.
I mean, how do you come back from that though, man? Like that was 6-1. Like that they scored in every period, and the last period they just
every period.
The last period they just scored 3, just kept going back to back to back on possessions, and it was just like, dude, what? Like what happened? Like, I couldn't even tell you what happened.
McDavid had 2 goals in that game.
Mm-hmm. That's
he
ridiculous.
Finally arrived in scoring.
And he was struggling for a while, wasn't he? Like
I mean, I wouldn't say he was struggling. He just wasn't scoring.
Not to his standard, though, is what I'm saying.
Well,
like
I know hockey isn't the same as basketball, but we saw the Thunder get blown out of the water in game 3 by 40 points, and then they came back and won game 4. Like I said, it's not the same, but it's the same principle that goes with that, I'm sure. I think right now, though, the key is for Edmonton that their goalie is stopped or allowed only 1 goal in their last 59 shots. So we got to give credit where credit's due. Skinner's been killing it for them as of late.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, when you look at the Panthers series, I mean, like I said, Sebastian Aho had to be a key factor in this series. They've been finding a way to not have them be a factor. Like Bobrovsky has been electrifying. I mean,
He's scary, dude.
he was like the third star of the game
right
of last game, and he had 25 saves.
Who was the one that scored the goal for the Stars? Was it Robertson? I think it was
Yeah.
Robertson.
But for the Hurricanes, Sebastian Aho scored an empty netter, and like it was a 1-0 game.
Yeah.
And they had 2 empty net goals. So that score doesn't really like tell the full picture of the game, but
3-0 hurt my heart, man.
For the Panthers to fall, I mean it's fine. I mean, but they can come back and win next game, but now you have to go back to Carolina. It's like
I don't know if they can win, bro. I think the Carolina kind of took us by storm. I don't know what happened there either. That's just.
I mean, they're gonna win the series, but
unfortunately,
I don't think
Game 5 might go Carolina's way. I think the biggest thing was that Florida can look at as a positive, though, is that the game stayed 1-0 until the empty netters at the end. So
That's
it's
what
not
I'm
like
saying.
they got blown out throughout or they got thoroughly outplayed.
they just couldn't
2
score.
of those 3 goals happened in the last 2 minutes of the game. So when you pulled your goalie, it's just they weren't able to convert when they had that extra man on the ice.
And then when you look at the Dallas Stars, Ottinger just looks human right now. I mean, the Oilers are pretty much getting whatever they want over the past 2 games. So, I mean, it's a long series. It's a long series, a lot of time left, and I wouldn't say that series is over. That series has probably just begun. So, at 2-1, which is actually insane. Just wish my team could be in it, but we'll see what happens.
I still got Stars.
It's always next year, man.
And the year after that.
And the year after that. So
I got Stars still, man. I got full faith that they'll be able to turn this around and get to it and get this dub for the fans, because they have a great offensive game plan. It's just they did not execute very well the other day.
The Oilers are in the same position as the Pacers. This is a must-win too. You don't want to go back to Dallas tied.
Nope. I'm telling you, don't want to do that.
It's just like the Pacers are in. You do not want to go back to Dallas tied, bro.
You give Dallas all the momentum in the world getting that home court advantage back. So,
unlike the Knicks, Dallas is pretty like unbeatable at home.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, even the Knicks before this series.
They can beat. It's a very big, tough crowd, but it ain't nothing like the Dallas Stars with their home field advantage, their home ice advantage. Nothing. I mean, they turn into the best team in the league every time they play at home. Ask the Jets.
But what'd you say, Chris? You said even the Knicks what?
Even the Knicks lost at home once, but they had a great home court advantage too before this series. But for my final predictions, I'm gonna go both series end in 6. I gotta stick with my original prediction before the playoffs: Panthers, Oilers, and then Oilers win the entire thing. So I gotta stick with that.
I do not want to see another finals rematch of the 2 same teams.
Give me Stars versus Panthers, and Panthers in 7.
It's a bold pick.
Hey,
I think Dallas might win.
I want Dallas to win, but
if Dallas wins this series, I think they're going to win the Stanley Cup.
You don't think if Florida come back, they don't win the whole thing?
Well, I'm not saying. I'm just saying Dallas is totally different than last year's Edmonton.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Dallas Dallas right now, they're playing inhumane. They were good during the season, but now they're just wow. All I can say is just wow. The way
it's kind of like Indy in a way. They're great at comebacks, and they weren't the best during the regular season, but they found a way to elevate in the postseason.
Yeah, that's a good comparison actually, because the Jets were supposed to be like the Thunder, but they fell to Dallas.
Right.
So
Dallas Panthers, mark your calendars.
So we're gonna jump into one of our last sports topics of the day, and that is the WNBA. Well,
Hey, a
this hurts.
2 week injury in
The
the
Indiana
WNBA.
Fever gets some devastating news as CC is expected to miss 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks, with a quad strain. Now I think
That's the
now
season
we're
ender.
about to see everybody. Now we're about to see what everybody's been talking about with viewership and who's bringing eyes to the W. Because now the Queen is out. So
Right.
now what do the Fever
Hey,
need
it's
to
your
do?
time.
Yep. There's no excuses now why you shouldn't be getting your games watched.
Uh-huh.
None.
Paige, it's your time, man. Start playing like Kyrie and stuff. I'm telling
Oh
you.
my gosh, the Dallas Wings look like dogs.
Look at their coaching staff. Horrible. No
Oh, I
support.
saw something too that Agunba Wale and Page apparently. I haven't watched any Stars games or Wings games, excuse me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw something like a debate going on that those two can't coexist because they're both very ball dominant, and Agunba Wale still wants her touches despite Page being there and being
Well,
the hot new product, the generational talent, whatnot.
Dude,
I
I
can
saw
see
them
that.
playing.
I said this before they even drafted. You know, I said this before they even drafted her. Like I thought that Dallas. We all know Dallas wasn't the best fit for her, but when it comes down to the type of team that she was going to be on, everybody wanted her on the Sparks.
Mhm.
Everybody wanted her on the Sparks.
Her and
Like
the Sparks would have been dangerous.
if she was on the Sparks, they
That team's
probably wouldn't
good
have had
too.
Kelsey Plum, and they would have had a real big three.
And Kelsey's having an MVP type of season right now, man.
Now,
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
man, if you the Sparks, this is if you the Sparks, man, this is like a blessing in disguise that you made that they made that trade with the
Kelsey,
Aces.
Brink, and Booker's on the same team would have been beautiful. But
Remember,
to that,
Brick ain't even back yet.
I'm saying though, like when she come back next week or whatever, bro. My prediction on that. To your point on that, Chris, I don't believe those rumors about them not being able to coexist because I think they can. I've watched the games because I'm a big Page fan,
I
and
just like the W in general. I watch it all.
and when they play and they coexist together, yes, they struggle because they're normally the top dog, but Page is fitting right in with assisting every player on that team, trying to make everyone better, and they're not losing their games by very much. Like she's having great games, and Enrique, she's great as well. It's just it takes a little bit of time, and the WNBA they don't have a lot of games. They have like what 35.
I think it's 40 for the regular season.
42, I
Yeah,
believe.
42 games. So CC's gonna be out, and that's like half her season right there. Like she's pretty much done until playoffs if they can make it.
I mean, and you saw this with the Fever last year too. They were abysmal their first few games of the season, and
then they got
they
that
really
that
settled
winter.
in towards the end and got on a heater, and they made the playoffs last year by the skin of their teeth. So
Like I
the
tell
Wings,
people,
I think it's just almost you have to work out the kinks a little bit. It's still so early, and their season is so short. So
That's the
I think
issue.
by the end they're going to be a lot better of a team than they are right now.
I think there was the Fever kind of got lucky with the little Olympic break last year because they got like what 2 months off or something. It was crazy. They had so
I think
much
it was a
time.
month.
They had so much time to rest due to the Olympics, and it was like a big intermission. And they came back just looking completely different.
Well,
So
if you look right before the All-Star game, right before the break, they started looking a lot different. You could tell that the season changed right before the All-Star break because
yeah,
I was watching pretty much every game and the flow looked different. They actually were able to play and run with CC instead of because at first they couldn't catch a pass.
yeah.
At first they couldn't catch a pass. CC would find them on an open block. They couldn't make a shot. As they got together, as they got closer to the All-Star break, that's when their whole season changed. They started. I think they won like 7 out of their last 9 games. I think at that point. So
Paige goes to Connecticut tonight, back home, and hopefully she can carry them to a. I don't know if they won. I don't remember if they won a game this year yet, but I think they have. But
Connecticut is also winless, so it's a battle of two teams that need their first win.
okay, yeah. So it's gonna be a tough little outing there, but she's going back home, and hopefully they can get that win. I'm excited. Bro, I'm telling you, she has the capability of just being so great. It's just CC's on a different level right now, and I don't know what happened. Like she just triple double every night. Like I was not expecting her to be like that this year. I thought it was gonna be more pass dominant and shooting more crazy threes, and which she still is doing, but she's doing everything else now too. So
she's looking like the player everyone thought she was going to be coming out of college.
Right.
And people didn't want to believe that.
You know, I don't know what the hate is. Like,
I don't get it.
I mean, I understand like jealousy because like your game isn't as good as hers, but you have the capability of being like that. You just don't try hard enough.
I won't say that. I think it's more of the fact that it's all about this viewership. It's all about this. People want to watch her play, but we've been here for this long.
But it's true though. Like,
yeah, I'm like, bro, but if y'all were like that, people would have been watching it.
Like people watch. Go ahead.
It's like when LeBron came into the NBA, and if all the players that were there already were just incredibly jealous of him, like Kobe Bryant was jealous, for example. And I don't really understand what the hate is either. It's bringing eyes to you as well, just as much as it is to her. Sure, people know who she is, but if you just play well against her and you don't have ill intent, people are still going to be like, hey, I don't know, someone on the Connecticut Sun is pretty darn good.
I just feel like people know who A'ja Wilson is. Like everyone loves A'ja Wilson. If you like basketball, I feel like you respect A'ja Wilson. But that's like the only other player.
And the Aces don't look right either. I mean, but go ahead.
People like A'ja Wilson, people like Kelsey Plum. I forgot to say her last name.
Lloyd
Ionescu,
yes. Everyone likes her. Like if you truly like the game of basketball, you know who those players are. And you know Breanna Stewart, obviously, like MVP a couple years ago. Like people know these players. It's just
starting to know who Fee is.
Right. Like you know these players. People know who Candace Parker and Maya Moore are. I know they're not playing anymore, but you know who they are.
Maya Moore arguably was like Jordan to the league.
Yeah, so people know who these women are. It's just your game isn't as good as CC's. I don't know what it is. Like A'ja Wilson is. Don't get me wrong. Let's take it back on that. But I think A'ja Wilson's like miles ahead of CC right now, in my opinion. I don't know.
Well, A'ja Wilson is like 6'4" and can do everything on the basketball court. So she's going to.
Yeah, but her game is ridiculous. I enjoy watching her very much. But
her bag is. I got
at 6'4". At 6'4", a woman doing that is very impressive. So I was very.
She got a handle too. So
yeah, she can do all. But that's for another day. But the jealousy of CC is just like so confusing to me. I feel like girls should be like, or women, excuse me. I feel like they should be thankful for that, or they're bringing a light. She's bringing light to their game, and not treat her like Jesus or anything, but like just be cool with her. Like, yeah, be competitive, but like the jealousy of Angel Reese and like that one-sided beef they have, and then women trying to bash Caitlin Clark during the games and like probably celebrating that she's injured and that. Oh, now we got the view, so we can show out. Like, it's not gonna happen. It's not how it works. And until someone really steps up like CC and A'ja Wilson to get those views and Kelsey Plum now, I mean, you're not gonna get the views that you want. It's just a fact. She has to stay healthy for you to get that money, that revenue coming into the league. So
I think it's more of the fact that people it's that. Man, it's a tough one because you can't hate on somebody that's actually good at basketball and bringing the eyes to it. It's like ultimately like say in baseball, Aaron Judge came into the league or Mike Trout and them came into the league and they started hitting like 40 homers and batting .313 every season. Mm-hmm. Well, now the pitchers hate this guy and the other batters hate this guy, so they're going to talk shit about him all the time. Right. It's like I hate to see that because, like they say, I hate to believe that statement that women's worst nightmare of other women or something like that. I hate that because
It's true though. I'm not gonna lie.
it's true because because it's all about me. You know,
Yep.
when it comes to women, not all women, but a lot of them, it's all about me. And I feel that if your game was as good as you said you are, people are going to watch you regardless.
Yeah,
That's just like basketball. We like to watch good basketball. We call Tyrese Halliburton overrated. I didn't, but
I didn't.
people call Tyrese
I just don't
Halliburton
like him.
overrated. They still call him overrated, but they still watch him.
Well,
Like
yeah, it's
that's
yeah.
like they said Jalen Brunson is too small. Why did he fall in the draft? They don't think he was going to be good enough. They're watching. Cat. Oh my God, he's the softest big man ever, but we continue to watch because they're good at basketball.
Yeah, this is all just for clarification. This is all game wise. Like we're not taking personal shots or anything like that. We're talking
No one taking no
purely
personal
game.
shots at these women. We don't know them personally.
Right. We talking purely game just for those viewers. But
Like,
man,
be for real. Angel Reese, come on. Like, be freaking for real.
like, she cannot hoop, bro. It is actually insane. She cannot hoop.
I mean, she's been getting large amounts of attention pretty much since her transfer to LSU when they manufactured that rivalry. And I don't know. The beef, like you guys said already, seems so one-sided between the two of them. Caitlyn just kind of puts her head down and plays the game, whereas like Angel's like, going like this with the ring and
Okay.
pushing her and whatnot. I know Caitlyn does some stuff, obviously, some antics, but
I was gonna say Caitlyn, she feeds into it. I'm not. You can't deny that she feeds into it. It is one sided when it comes to the game, like of their game.
It elevates her game.
Caitlyn's better, but you can't lie. Watching them play against each other, she eggs Angel Reese on and tries to make fun of her. And
yeah, but Reese falls for it every single time, though. If you think about it, like with the ring, like Reese says a lot of the right things after the game, but during the game, like her actions almost contradict what she says in pressers and whatnot.
Well, it's because she won the national championship and beat Caitlin Clark to do that, and I mean she does have that over her head, but that was 3 years ago, So
right,
it
We're
was
pros now.
Yeah, you got to be able to transition to the next level, and then when you win the ring for Chicago, then you can talk. But now it's different. You can't be holding that title, that college title over CC anymore. I mean, that's where it all stemmed from. They're cool. They say they're cool, but obviously they're not friends.
They respect each other.
There's always a jealousy in their game, and the jealousy only stems from one side. And I don't know. It gives her attention, but the worst attention possible. And I think that she needs to. I truly think she needs like some type of mentor to like help her out with her game because there is something off about her. I don't know how she gets these insane rebounds, goes up and but she doesn't even look towards her teammates. Like, what is that about? Like, why?
It's not even about looking towards your teammates. How do you miss a layup underneath the rim?
But bro, if you miss a rebound, if you miss a layup after a rebound, pass it out. After that many times, like she got in a row, bro, pass it out. Why are you going up every single time? You can't make this stuff up. Like she does not care. It is insane. She knows that she's getting all these rebounds and that she's gonna break the record for rebounding one day because of that. And it's gonna be very flawed because it's not really rebounds, it's me bounds.
She's playing catch with herself.
Right. Yeah, it's not it's very, very flawed. So bro, I'm telling you, bro, Chicago's the worst place she could have ended up at. If she
I did not want her here.
I know. I'm saying though, like that was it's just putting her in that big city is just horrible for her, like for her game at least. If you put her in Washington or like Connecticut, oh my god, you put her in Connecticut. I mean, what else is there to do? She's gonna be playing basketball the entire time.
I think that it almost feels like she's not composed under the rim. Like when she gets the ball back, she just throws it up and hopes for the best. I don't know if she's expecting fouls. She just needs to take a deep breath every once in a while. Look at the rim, look at the square up there, and just aim for that. And like it's almost like a fundamental thing that we're taught when we're little. Just like aim for the square, take a deep breath, don't rush your shot. And it feels like she's been rushing her shot every time down there. And it feels like that since college even.
I can't mind you that I mind you. One game I was watching, I think it was last season. She got the ball and just did that with it.
I know
Didn't
you're
even
talking about.
look at the rim.
I know what you're talking about.
She got the ball and just went. What the bro? What are you doing?
Like it's genuinely concerning how bad she is. Because offensively, like defense, she can play defense. We ain't
No
gonna talk
one,
about it.
no one is hating on her. She's a beautiful woman, and I don't care what nobody say. Her body is tea. I don't care, but her body is tea.
She's
Forever.
tough.
I will always say that her body is tough. She is tea.
It's just the game.
It's just when you the basketball game, bro. She's a celebrity, not a hooper, bro.
That's what it is. Bro, she's not even a celebrity though. Like
She's an influencer.
She do
right?
numbers in like the creator
Yeah,
league.
influencer.
Yeah,
Better.
she's more of an
better description.
influencer than a. Well, I can't even say that she's not a celebrity because everybody know who she is. She hangs with all these
But negatively though,
rappers, so.
to be a celebrity, you got to be like looked at as like somewhat good. Like people got to like you somewhat.
She's almost like a wool cow in a way.
Yeah. No, I feel like only a portion of her fans like her, and like I feel like everyone in Chicago doesn't want her there as a Chicago Skies fan or whatever. So
if you're a basketball fan of the Chicago Sky, we don't want her there.
Bro, she should not have gone there. It's messing up the entire flow of the team. They were good before she got there. So,
but when you talk about her actual fans, her majority of her fan base are just, how can I say this?
Black women
canceled.
Black women. This is true.
Yeah, I mean, majority of her fans are black women, and
you gotta support
black strong people. That's all.
Beautiful black women are fans of her, and they stick by her, even though they know they probably deep down know that she's not very good at basketball.
What I don't understand is my mom. Me and my sister talk to our mom about this all the time about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and she still thinks that AR is good. I'm like, you're being biased right now.
No, she's not good. She's not good yet. I think she can be. I think she very well can be. If
she puts in the work in the off season and develops a good post bag, then nobody's gonna complain half as much as they did before.
Nah, you got to get rid of her. You got to trade her. Get her a reality check, bro. That's the only way I think she can get good. I genuinely believe that. Not in Chicago. She's not gonna be good in Chicago. I promise you.
Send her behind a Washington or something.
Bro, go send her to Washington.
That's her home.
Right. She'd probably love to play there. Send her to Washington. Do not send her to LA. You can send her to Arizona, but that's still pushing it. Send her to Seattle. See what happens.
Yeah, send her to Seattle, or
I promise you she'll start playing better.
Send her to Portland
80% of the year.
the new team. Send her to Portland.
Send her somewhere that doesn't have a spotlight. I mean, if it was roles reversed and CC was in Chicago and Angel Reese was on the Fever, I mean, I genuinely believe Angel Reese would be playing a lot better. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
CC was gonna always be good whatever team she went to.
Oh no. I'm just saying though, realistically, if you take her out the spotlight, she's going to be good. I think she has the potential to be good, bro. It's just she doesn't care enough yet, bro. She likes the fame, she likes the money. That's cool, but like, I mean, not even money. I don't even know if she makes that much, but endorsements.
She makes a lot off of
from endorsements. I guarantee she makes a ton.
Oh yeah. She wears these clothes representing them, and they pay her for it. So, I mean, I'm telling you, bro, get her out of Chicago, and then we can talk. I'm sure.
Well, we're gonna jump into this one miscellaneous topic that I wanted to talk about before we get into our final thoughts. What movies and TV shows have been good out there? I know a TV show that I've been watching. I know that a new Netflix I was watching was The Starting Five on there with LeBron and Jason Tatum and Anthony Edwards. They go in like an in-depth behind the scenes of them throughout the whole 2023-2024 season.
Pretty good.
That's pretty cool to watch. So I'd recommend going to watch Starting Five for anybody that, wants something good to watch and wants some access to the NBA. So I give the access. It's just nice to see from somebody else.
What you got, Chris?
I've always been a big Seinfeld guy. I wanted to give that show a shout out on here. I know not everyone from our generation necessarily has seen that. I was in Sound and Image this year with Brian Lucas at Whitewater. Shout out to him. Great professor. But almost no one in that class had seen that show because it's from the 90s. It was like right before Friends kind of took off was Seinfeld's era. And I think everyone, if you're a comedy sitcom fan, you got to give it a watch. It's hilarious. The physical comedy is great. The one-liners are great. There's just so much great vibes. The group gets along. The chemistry is incredible. The casting is great. And yeah, someone's just take some time out of your day. The episodes are 22 minutes long. Just go watch a few, and then give it a shot from there.
I was a big Friends guy. I did watch Seinfeld too, but I was a big Friends guy.
Yeah, I like Friends a lot. I like
I
I
love-
like that 70s show. That was my show when I was little. I don't know why. I just loved watching it. It's hilarious. The two shows that I'm gonna bring to you are kind of different. So if you haven't seen You, please,
This man and You, bro.
I've never seen it.
please watch the show. It is so the first season will get you hooked. The first season is the best season. But
Sister and them are best friends.
bro, that show's insane. It's so good. Like the character development of the main character. He doesn't really develop like to a good guy, but like it's just seeing it from the point of view of a serial killer is like very like it just makes you feel weird. But like the show does so good to where you think that he's doing right and that you sympathize with him. That's why it's so good, because it is obviously it's a horrible thing to agree with, but like he has these like little monologues in his head, like he talks to himself, and then it makes you think like, oh my god, he's such a good guy, like his intentions are good, but in reality, he's if you take all that boy stuff out, you just watch him do what he does, horrible, absolutely horrible. But go watch that, please. And then if you don't watch anime, I'm gonna put you on right now. All right, great anime to start off with is Solo Leveling or Naruto. You can watch one of those to start off with. Okay, I'm gonna check back with y'all every week to make sure y'all start watching anime because I think it's some great stuff. Jalen, I know you don't like anime, but you go.
I've actually watched the anime on Netflix. I think it was the Blood of Zeus.
Okay,
Check
yeah,
it
that's
out.
a good one. Yeah,
I like that one.
it's a good one, bro. Look,
That was a good one.
it's a good start. That's a good starting one, actually. I didn't think
I
about
like that one a lot. That was pretty good.
Listen, go watch Demon Slayer. Oh my god, please go watch. I genuinely believe you guys will like Demon Slayer. I don't know, you guys don't like anime. I understand, but give it a try. One show. I'm getting out of these the three shows I'm telling you to start off with that you will like understand. Solo Leveling. I just won Anime of the Year a couple days ago. You can watch Demon Slayer. Very easy to get into. You love the characters right away. And then you can watch Naruto. That's like the old one. But my favorite is Dragon Ball Z. But I don't think you should start off with that one because it's a lot. But those are the three I recommend starting off with.
I used to
I think
watch
there
all
was
those
another
ones
one
on
I was
Cartoon
watching. I
Network
think
back
it
in
was
the day. The
Castlevania.
Beyblade, Pokemon type ones.
Okay, those are good. Those aren't bad. Those are just like kind of the lower tier animes. Those are like more cartoon.
When they were really cheesy too. That was the thing, like because they were
That's
on at
not all
7
anime.
a.m. on Cartoon Network, like
That's what I'm
Pokemon
saying.
especially. My goodness,
they're
that
more
was
cartoony than anything. Like Pokemon was
Yeah.
like they had video games for that too. So like it was more kid anime kind of thing. Like
I mean, I was a big Pokemon kid when I was growing up. I played through Black and White probably like 20 times.
don't get me started on Black and White. What about Diamond? What was it? Diamond? It was Diamond and something.
I think it's Pearl. Pearl was the other one.
Pearl and Diamond, bro. Those are my games, dude. Oh my god, don't get me started on that. But yeah, bro. Just those are like the kid animes, like Yu-Gi-Oh, like Sonic and Pokemon and Beyblade, and there was another one I forgot about. But the ones that kind of tell a story and like those tell stories, but like a bigger story to it are the ones I'm naming. I'm telling you, watch Solo Leveling. The Blood of Zeus is really good. That's a really good.
Man,
one.
that is a good one.
That's a really good one. And yeah, go watch those. Please give it a try. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll, I think they're charging like what, $5 a month, not even. So just try it. I'm telling you.
All right, jump right into final thoughts.
Chris, or you guys can go ahead first.
Oh man, I always hate being put on the spot like this, but whew.
Maybe give it a little Brewers talk.
The Brewers finally got a couple of wins the last few days. Trevor McGill was able to close it out. They need starters to go longer into those games. I believe out of their 50 or so games, we've had 4 games this year where a starter's gone 6+ innings, which is just ridiculous. it feels like they just have all these like long-term relievers that are starting games, and because of all the injuries and whatnot to Tobias Myers, when Woodruff eventually comes back in 2045, and Aaron Savali the other day, a couple of those other guys too. It's like they're not able to pitch deeper into games. Chad Patrick came up as a reliever, I believe, too. So they've been stretching a lot of these bullpen guys to be starters, and it just hasn't been working. Guys like Abner Uribe, Nick Mears, and Trevor McGill are all crazy overworked right now. Feels like they're going out there in every high leverage situation, and it feels like this falls on the ownership being cheap again. They weren't able to afford some of the quality relievers. They had to trade Devin Williams in the offseason. Now he's not doing too hot with the Yankees either, but that's besides the point. They just don't have a ton of high leverage relievers on this team. Yoel Payamps and Elvis Peguero have kind of faded into obscurity, bullpen obscurity. Payamps got DFA'd last week, I think, and Peguero's been down in AAA. They just haven't been what they were 2 years ago. So this team needs to figure out bullpen and obviously in the hitting core, but that goes without saying. Churio had a nice homer yesterday, so hopefully that kickstarts a bit of a hot streak for him after that 0 for 24 that he had. But schedule is a bit more favorable. It's been favorable the last week. I know before that they had a really tough go of it in terms of the schedule, but they got some work to do to catch up to the Cubs for sure, who their offense has been scintillating so far this season.
Yeah, they tried to lose yesterday. It was very, very interesting that they literally just were trying to lose. But anyways, 2 announcements real quick. I got the U.S. Open coming this week, so we'll be talking about that, and eventually, I'm excited to go to that. I love golf, so watching the women's play golf would be awesome. Covering that story, and then next
videos
week,
for us.
Yeah, and next week, we'll have our second guest, Max Kunert, on. So give audience a little bit of background. The Kunert Classic is like a local 2v2 tournament that we do in Pewaukee, and out of Pewaukee, everyone around the area comes out and tries to win the Kunert Classic. It's held in a driveway. I know it sounds a little crazy, but it actually is very, very popular around here, and people look forward to it every year. So what they do is they get teams of 2 come out, they play in a little tournament on the Saturday, and then the final day is Sunday, where you get the final few teams in that bracket to win. And Max, the creator of it, will come on and talk to us about his experiences with that, and give us some basketball takes and talk about his future for his basketball career, because he's also very good at basketball. He led the country in 3-point percentage on all levels last year, and he has some big news for his future to come share here first publicly shared here. So it'd be very interesting, very fun to have him on next week sometime. So just keep a lookout for that. It's be pretty fun.
Nice. Probably I don't got too much. Mine is probably just congrats to the UWW baseball team. They're going back to the World Series. They won the Super Regional this past weekend. Yeah, congratulations to those guys. I know Oshkosh feels terrible right now because they could have beat us in the conference championship. They were 1 strike away and to win the WEAC championship, and they were 1 game away this time to going back to the World Series to beating us again. So I know we got their number right now, and I know they're pretty upset. But congratulations to those guys.
And that series was so interesting over the weekend too, because they won on Friday. 14-1 was the final of that game. It was an absolute blowout. Then Oshkosh comes back and takes one from Whitewater. I think it was 5-2 was the final of the first game on Saturday. The bats weren't quite going for the Warhawks in that game, but then Logan Eisenbarth goes out there and throws an absolute gem of 7 innings, 3-hit ball in the third game, and Whitewater won 10-0, absolute domination, and they have to feel really good about their chances heading into Ohio this week.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to those guys, and I look forward to watching them play. I'll try to have them up on my phone and try to watch the game as much as I can. But congratulations to those guys, and I know a few of them. I practiced and played with a few of them, and yeah, I mean, it's really good guys over there. So.
Hey, announcement of NCAA 26.
That's exactly what I was about to say, low-key.
It's awesome.
So we can probably jump into that on Thursday. The NCAA coverage just came out. Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Smith are going to be on the cover. Ohio State and Alabama gets 2 prospects from them. So with that, we come to the end of the show. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. Follow our podcast page on other platforms. We have a Spotify below. And if you're on the Spotify, come to the YouTube side. So you can watch us live and interact with us live. We will post reels and shorts of this show, polls, and we'll try to get in the question boxes. And you can always DM us if you have something that you want us answered or comment or anything you may have. And like today, we dabbled into music. We dabbled into film. So we try to dabble into a little everything as well. So with that, we'll see you all on Thursday.